Hello, grade 2. I'm going to teach you all about your final purple packet of the year. And that is going to start with a Tuesday. So I'm going to bring that up for you. And you know you have the ability to print these sheets ahead of time. So here's the one we're going to start with. Our first activity says, write an interrogative sentence. So interrogative is one of the words you're going to want to know for 3rd grade. It is the same meaning as question. Interrogative would mean the same as question. So it could basically say, write a question. If you're not sure what that means, maybe you can think of those as asking sentences. So way back in the beginning of the year when we worked on reading and we did asking and answering questions, some words that we focused on were the 5 W's and the H. So who, what, where, when, why, how. Those are really good question beginning things. So I could pick any of those. I could start with, where are you going? And of course, the end mark that an interrogative sentence would have to have would be the question mark. You could ask anything. You could start with a different word too. You could start with do you like ice cream? Or you could start with is it going to rain today? There's many question starting sentence words, the words for questions, okay? All right, we're going to go on to the second one. Circle to show how many syllables. So the underlined word could either be 1 syllable, 2 syllables, or 3 syllables. Now you can certainly read the sentence. And when you get to the underlined word, you can put your hand underneath your chin and you can see how many times it moves. So I'm going to read it. The stink bug came from Egypt. Stink bug. Seemed like 2 syllables, didn't it? Now, if for some reason you cannot read the word, here is something that you can do. A syllable happens because of a vowel sound. So if we go to the word and we find the vowels and mark them, then we have to ask a few questions just to make sure this doesn't decide right away. Are there R-controlled vowels? Are there any vowel teams? Are there E's? And could it be a silent E? So you can see we don't have any of those situations. So we know that these vowels are going to just be separated into their own syllable. So I'm going to divide between there. And I see I have lots of consonants to break up. NK is a sound that works together. So there's where we'd split it. And it does make kind of a compound word. I would think a stink bug is a bug that stinks. 2 separate words. Let's do the same thing for this one. I'll read the sentence and then we'll say the word with our hand under our chin. The cockroach has been around since before the dinosaurs. Cockroach. It's 2 syllables again, isn't it? But let's just double check how you would know that if you didn't have an idea of what that word really said. You could find vowels. So an O is a vowel. Here's an O and there's an A. So here's where you would be able to say, well, are there any R controls? Our pirate talk. Nope. R has to be after the vowel. The second question is, are there any vowel teams? And yes, there is. So connect those. That will make one sound, right? Now in between these 2 vowel sounds, there's lots of consonants, and CK again are consonants that typically work together. So there's your 2 syllables. Okay. Let's do our edit the sentence. I'm going to change colors here. It's raining outside. Well, every sentence has to start with a capital letter. So that's definitely something to do. Every sentence has to have an end mark. Nothing's here, so we'll think about what it's saying. It's raining outside. That is just giving information. So a definite period here. And we know that type of sentence because it's giving information is called declarative. When you work in IXL this week, you are going to work on the types of sentences. And declarative can also be called statement. And interrogative, which worked at the top, can also be called question. There are more than one type of sentence, though, that could have a period on the end. So it could be a statement or a declarative. The other type is a command where directions are given. This one's declarative or just telling a statement. Okay? I bet you're wondering about the beginning part here because we have worked on the word it's. Could it be that this one needs the apostrophe? So if it's with an apostrophe, it's the contraction for it is, right? So it's with the apostrophe is meaning it is. So if I can say it is at the beginning and it still makes sense, I know they are using the contraction for it. Let's try it. It is raining outside. That sounds like a sentence that makes sense. So they are meaning it is. The contraction is what should be here. And that's the one that needs the apostrophe. The other it's without the apostrophe is the one that belongs to it, like the cat ate its food or the dog wagged its tail, like the tail that belonged to it. Let's work on the sounds here. That will be spelled with O-W or O-U. Both of those will say ow. So this word will be out, like when you get sad and you make that face and pouting, right? The way to spell pout is O-U. The word out is in pout. This one would be crowd. The word crowd is an O-W. We're not going to have any helpful hints, like if the sound is at the end of the word, you might normally choose O-W. These are all middle sounds, so it doesn't really matter. This one would be down, right? Down. That's a pretty common word. You're going to use an O-W. And the last one is proud. Proud is an O-U. These are just words that need practice, right? All right. Our final task will change throughout the week. Sometimes we are going to be looking for adjectives like we are today. And adjectives describe nouns. They tell more about a noun. So they tell about a person, a place, or a thing. They also could do this to pronouns, words like he, she, it, them, those types of words. They either tell what kind. Let me give a little space here. What kind, which one, and another one you have to keep in mind is how many. So definitely that would be numbers. Numbers are adjectives. So right off the bat, I bet you can see we have a number. 7 is an adjective. So I could have it in a sentence like, I saw 7 ducks. And again, how many ducks? 7. So when we're talking about what kind or which one, some of these other words would do that. They would tell about a noun, like which one? Well, the tall one. That would be maybe describing a person or a building. Which one? Well, the beautiful one. So a beautiful flower describes the flower. Colors are always adjectives. So you might say, which house do you live in? The blue house. Okay. Gallop is not an adjective because it's a verb. It's an action. You can say, I can gallop. And desk is not an adjective because it's a noun. Nouns are people, places, and things. And definitely a desk is a thing. So that is our work for the week. You'll have IXL and some things to type on Wednesday worksheets, Thursday worksheets, and you'll do a fine job.